Ultra Instinct represents the most significant power-up in Dragon Ball history, transforming Goku from strong fighter to someone who operates beyond the concept of conscious thought itself. The transformation's reveal during the Tournament of Power created one of anime's most iconic moments, with Goku rising from apparent defeat against Jiren to achieve a form that even gods of destruction couldn't master. Ultra Instinct's concept breaks traditional power scaling by operating on perfection rather than raw strength. Goku's body moves and reacts faster than thought itself, making him untouchable by opponents who previously dominated him. The visual design is deceptively simple but incredibly effective, with the silver hair and aura creating an ethereal appearance that suggests transcendence rather than just increased power. The form's limitations add narrative weight. Goku can't maintain it for long and faces severe consequences for overuse, preventing it from solving every problem while maintaining its special status. The impact on Dragon Ball's power scaling was enormous, introducing concepts that transcend traditional strength measurements and establishing new hierarchies that put Goku among cosmic-level beings. Ultra Instinct's mastery represents character growth beyond just getting stronger, showing Goku achieving spiritual and martial arts enlightenment that connects to real martial arts philosophy. Saitama's serious punch against Cosmic Fear Guru represents perhaps the most visually spectacular power demonstration in anime history, literally destroying millions of stars with a single attack. The setup was perfect. Guru had copied Saitama's power and seemed to match him, creating the first scenario where Saitama might need to actually try against an opponent. The punch itself broke physics and logic within the One Punch Man universe, creating a void in space visible from Earth and demonstrating power levels that exceed galactic destruction. What makes this power-up insane isn't just the scale, but the casual way Saitama performs it. He's not screaming or powering up for episodes, just getting slightly annoyed and throwing a punch. The aftermath shows Saitama's growth during the fight, with his power increasing exponentially in real time as he faces someone who can initially match his strength. The visual presentation combined realistic space imagery with impossible destruction, creating a sequence that feels both scientifically grounded and completely fantastical. The punch recontextualizes every previous Saitama feat, suggesting that everything we'd seen before was him holding back to an almost infinite degree. Ichigo's final Getsuga Tensho against Aizen represents one of anime's most dramatic power sacrifices, with Ichigo willingly giving up all his spiritual power for one ultimate attack. The transformation process was insane. Ichigo literally became the technique itself, merging with his Zanpakuto and gaining power that transcended the normal limits of Soul Reaper abilities. The visual design was haunting and beautiful, with Ichigo's black hair and bandage-like aura creating an appearance that suggested both death and transcendence. The power level achieved was sufficient to overwhelm Aizen at his peak, demonstrating strength that exceeded someone who had transcended the boundary between Soul Reaper and Hollow. The emotional weight made the transformation more impactful. Ichigo wasn't just gaining power, but sacrificing his ability to protect others in the future for the chance to save them now. The technique's cost added permanent consequences that most power-ups avoid, with Ichigo losing his powers and requiring external intervention to regain his abilities. The thematic resonance was perfect, with the final Getsuga representing ultimate selflessness and the willingness to sacrifice everything for others. Mob's various 100% emotional explosions represent some of anime's most unique power-ups, with his strength tied directly to emotional states rather than traditional training or transformation. The concept is brilliant. Mob's psychic power increases as he approaches emotional breakdown, creating power-ups that are both spectacular and genuinely concerning for the character's mental health. Each 100% state is different depending on the emotion. Rage, sadness, ecstasy, and others create distinct visual styles and power expressions that reflect their psychological origins. The state represents complete emotional overflow, with Mob's consciousness shutting down while his psychic power operates independently at reality warping levels. The visual presentation changes dramatically during these explosions, with Studio Bones using different animation styles to represent the unleashed psychic energy. The power-ups serve character development rather than just spectacle, with each emotional explosion teaching Mob something about himself and his relationships with others. The aftermath always includes consequences. Mob has to deal with the destruction he's caused and the emotions that triggered the explosion, preventing the power from being a simple solution. Naruto's six-path Sage Mode transformation represents the most significant power jump in the Naruto series, elevating him from strong ninja to someone capable of fighting planetary-level threats. The power-up source was epic, receiving chakra directly from the Sage of Six Paths himself, connecting Naruto to the fundamental forces that created the ninja world. The abilities gained were reality warping in scope, flight, truth-seeking orbs that negate ninjutsu, healing powers that can restore lost organs, and sensory abilities that transcend normal limitations. The visual design perfectly balanced new elements with Naruto's established aesthetic, adding the distinctive markings and orbs while maintaining his recognizable appearance. The power level achieved allowed Naruto to fight Madara Uchiha and later Kaguya Otsutsuki, opponents who had previously been completely beyond any single ninja's ability to challenge. The transformation's significance extends beyond raw power. It represents Naruto inheriting the will of fire and becoming worthy of leading the ninja world toward peace. The mode's integration with Naruto's existing abilities created new techniques and combinations that felt like natural evolution rather than complete replacement of his previous arsenal. Gon's transformation against P2 represents one of anime's most disturbing power-ups, achieved through sacrificing his potential future for overwhelming present strength. The transformation concept is insane. Gon forced his body to reach its adult peak instantly, gaining decades of training and development in moments through sheer rage and determination. The visual design was both impressive and horrifying, showing Gon as a powerful adult, while maintaining elements that reminded viewers this was still a child, driven by grief and anger. The power level achieved was sufficient to completely overwhelm P2, one of the royal guards who had previously been untouchable by any human fighter. The cost was devastating. Gon effectively traded his future as a hunter for this single moment of revenge, losing his Nen abilities and nearly dying from the transformation's strain. The emotional context made the power-up tragic rather than triumphant, with Gon's transformation representing his complete breakdown rather than heroic growth. The aftermath required external intervention to save Gon's life, emphasizing that this wasn't a sustainable power increase, but a desperate sacrifice with permanent consequences. Simon's progression from timid digger to cosmic scale reality manipulator represents one of anime's most extreme power escalations, culminating in mechs that throw galaxies like shuriken. The spiral power concept allows for infinite growth potential, with each major battle requiring Simon to break through his previous limitations and achieve previously impossible scales of power. The mech progression is insane, from Lagan to Gurren Lagann to Arc Gurren Lagann to Super Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, each form exponentially larger and more powerful than the last. The final battle operates on scales that break conventional measurement, with attacks measured in probability, manipulation, and reality warping, rather than simple destruction. Simon's character growth parallels his power increases, with each spiral breakthrough representing psychological development and increased determination to protect others. The visual presentation becomes increasingly abstract as the power levels escalate, with the final forms existing more as concepts than physical machines. The series' theme about breaking through limitations regardless of logic or possibility makes the extreme power scaling feel thematically appropriate rather than just spectacle. Accelerator's true power revelation represents one of anime's most scientifically grounded, yet completely insane ability demonstrations, operating on principles that break physics while following internal logic. The vector manipulation ability, at full power, can affect any physical phenomenon, from kinetic energy to electromagnetic radiation to theoretical constructs like Earth's rotation. The Level 6 shift experiment revealed that Accelerator's potential exceeds planetary-level power, with calculations suggesting he could achieve reality warping capabilities through pure physics manipulation. The angel transformation during his fight with Kakine showed Accelerator transcending normal Esper limitations, gaining wings and abilities that operate beyond scientific explanation. The character development aspect is crucial. Accelerator's power growth coincides with his emotional development from sociopathic killer to protective guardian. The visual design of his transformations combines scientific accuracy with supernatural elements, creating forms that feel both grounded in physics and completely fantastical. The series explores the psychological impact of having such overwhelming power, showing how Accelerator struggles with his ability to accidentally destroy everything around him. Tetsuo's psychic awakening in Akira represents one of anime's most terrifying power escalations, with his abilities growing from telepathy to reality warping cosmic horror. The power's growth is genuinely frightening, starting with basic telekinesis and escalating to matter manipulation, energy projection, and eventually existence on a cosmic scale. The transformation sequence where Tetsuo's body mutates and expands represents body horror at its most disturbing, showing the physical cost of uncontrolled psychic power. The scale reached is universe-threatening, with Tetsuo's power growing beyond his ability to control it and threatening to consume everything around him. The visual presentation combines beautiful psychic energy effects with horrifying biological mutations, creating imagery that's simultaneously awesome and revolting. The character arc makes the power-up tragic. Tetsuo gains everything he wanted but loses his humanity in the process, becoming something that's no longer recognizably human. The conclusion requires cosmic intervention to resolve, with Tetsuo's power ultimately transcending physical existence and becoming something beyond human comprehension. Madoka's transformation into the Law of Cycles represents the most conceptually insane power-up in anime, literally rewriting the fundamental laws of reality across all timelines. The wish's scope is universal. Madoka becomes a cosmic concept that exists across all of time and space, preventing magical girls from becoming witches throughout history. The power level transcends normal measurement scales, operating on abstract concepts like hope, despair, and the nature of existence itself rather than physical destruction. The visual presentation shows Madoka as a goddess-like figure who exists beyond normal space-time, with imagery that suggests divinity rather than just increased strength. The sacrifice involved is complete. Madoka erases herself from normal existence to become a universal force, remembered only by Homura, who exists outside the new reality. The transformation's impact rewrites the entire magical girl genre, creating a new cosmic order, where the traditional tragic ending becomes impossible. The power's nature means it operates retroactively, affecting events throughout time and creating a reality where Madoka's sacrifice always existed. Meliodas' various demon-form transformations represent increasingly insane power escalations that eventually reveal him as one of the most powerful beings in his universe. The Assault Mode transformation dramatically changes his personality, along with his power, showing the corruption that comes with embracing his demonic nature. The power increases are exponential with each transformation, taking Meliodas from strong human knight to demon prince capable of reality manipulation. The visual design becomes increasingly demonic and intimidating, with black markings and dark energy that emphasize the cost of accessing this power. The Demon King form represents the absolute peak, with Meliodas gaining power sufficient to threaten entire realms and rewrite fundamental laws. The character development aspect shows Meliodas struggling between his human connections and his demonic heritage, with each transformation threatening his relationships. The power's source in his true demonic nature adds weight to the transformations, making them feel like revelations of hidden truth rather than arbitrary power increases. Eren's Founding Titan activation represents one of anime's most devastating power reveals, transforming him from skilled fighter to someone capable of genociding the entire world. The rumbling scale is genuinely terrifying. Millions of colossal titans awakening simultaneously to flatten all life outside Paradise Island represents extinction-level power. The transformation's visual presentation shows Eren's Titan as a massive skeletal figure that dwarfs even other Titan shifters, emphasizing the cosmic scale of his new abilities. The power includes reality manipulation within the Path's realm, allowing Eren to communicate across time and space with all Eldians simultaneously. The character development makes the power-up tragic. Eren gains the ability to achieve freedom, but only through becoming the very monster he once fought against. The moral implications are staggering, with Eren's power forcing viewers to confront questions about genocide, freedom, and the cost of achieving one's goals. The power's activation was inevitable, given the series' themes, making it feel like the natural conclusion of Eren's character arc while remaining shocking in its execution.